Welcome to my channel. My name is Josie and I'm a graphic designer. I'm already in Blender today and we're going to be making this spinning object rotation. So it's a quick change from one to another using this spinning animation, which I could not for the life of me find any tutorials on. So if you know a better way of doing this, please tell me. For this example, I chose to use two objects that have very different dimensions, and that is to show you basically the worst type of example and it working in this worst case scenario. But if you have things that are much closer in size and scale, then that's going to work a lot better. All you need them to be is basically the same size. And this works really well if you have two of the same product or object that just have different labels or colors, so that is the smoothest way to do this. But we'll see on this example here, which is pretty challenging. So let's just jump right into the Blender file and get started. First of all, if you've never used Blender before and you just want to get into it really quickly, I do have a tutorial. I have my two objects here in the scene. I downloaded both of these from CG Trader. I'll link them down below. They're free. You can just check that out. The first thing I want to do is set these origins to make a bit more sense. So I am just going to set this to the center of mass, and now it's kind of in the middle there of the object. I want these to be pretty similar sizes so that when they do their switch, it is pretty seamless. So I think this should be fine. They're both going to go into the center here. So I'll put them on the 0 of all of the coordinates. And that looks all right. I'll mess around with this as I go, and this is a very trial and error type of tutorial. The way that this animation works is we want to apply the same rotation to both of these objects, and they're going to kind of spin around on the Z axis, show themselves, and then quickly flip into the next object and show itself again. So what I want to do is I want to have the first kind of set rotation of the more challenging object, which is going to be the mattress. So I'm going to hide this flamingo. And I'm just going to show you the kind of spin that I want to have on this mattress. So I want it to show itself kind of like this. And maybe it can come around like that. This rotation should be fine. Here's how it looks in the camera view. And I want to do something similar for the flamingo. And I think that should be all right. That's pretty similar. And as the flamingo spins, it shows itself and then it quickly spins around. As this animation is happening, I'm adding degrees of rotation to the Z axis. So the easiest way to do this is to make this rotation right here 0 degrees along all axes. So this is how you do that. I'm just going to click on it and go Command A and apply rotation. So right now, all of these rotations are at 0 degrees. And I'm going to do the same thing for the flamingo. So Command A and apply rotation. And this is going to make things a lot easier once we're getting into animating it. I'm going to hide the flamingo for now, and I'm just going to make these rotations on the air mattress. So this is going to be the first keyframe in the scene, and I am just going to right click and insert keyframe rotation. And now I want to decide at what point rotating is it going to speed up. So I think this should be fine here, 90 degrees along the Z axis. And I'm just going to choose the point in the timeline here that I want that to happen, and I'm actually going to cut down the whole animation a bit. I'm just going to go to 150 for now. So maybe at 80. So that's fine, and I'm just going to insert a keyframe here. And one thing I'll let you know is you can drag these along. You can change it as much as you like. And now I want that object to flip around completely and be back at its original point. So I'm going to put this at 360 degrees. So it's a full rotation from the very first frame. And I'm going to insert that keyframe. And so this is how that looks. So it's slowly coming around and now it's flipping, but it's not very fast. So in order to make it a bit faster, I'm just going to move this keyframe forward. And you can see it's a very quick flip. Now this whole thing is way too slow, so I'm just gonna move this to like 80. And let's see how that looks. All right, so it's slowly coming around and now it's flipping very fast. So I might move this 80 and put it to 100 and see how that looks. And that should be fine. I want that moment there to happen even faster. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the graph editor, and this is where you can manipulate things further. So this is the animation that's happening right now. And in order to make it come into view, I'm just gonna drag this up and zoom in. And now we're seeing things a little bit differently here. So if I wanna manipulate this, I'll take this anchor point here. You can just drag it out, and let's just see what that does. And now things are speeding up a lot more. And I'm just gonna smooth that by dragging this. Whoops. Let's go see how that looks. I'm just gonna manipulate these a little bit. All right, and I think that's fine. That actually is way faster than it usually is. And just to let you know, I've practiced this a lot of times. So if you need to manipulate it quite a bit, absolutely, it takes a lot longer than this usually. So the goal here is when things are speeding up in an animation, there's kind of this moment that it flips. And it flips so quickly that you almost can't even tell that it's happening. And that's kind of the goal, because that's the moment that the flamingo is going to appear. So if we're watching here, that has a really quick flip at this point, which is exactly what we need. I'm going to copy these keyframes and I'm going to put them into the flamingo so that they're exactly the same. So I'm going to go back to the timeline and I'm going to select all of these, Command C to copy. And I'm going to show the flamingo. However, I can't just copy and paste because Blender doesn't know where that data is supposed to go. So I need to insert a keyframe for the rotation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert a rotation keyframe and then Command V. And now those keyframes know where to be placed. So these are spinning here. And then they're both flipping and doing the exact same thing. The way that this animation works is that we render one object for the first part of the animation and we stop rendering it and start rendering the other one for the second part of the animation. So right now the air mattress is going to be visible. And then at this point, the flamingo is going to be visible. So the way to do that is we need to add keyframes to the render view. So we need to disable one object and enable another one. So to go to the very beginning here, frame 1, I am going to insert a keyframe on this render view. And so right now what we're seeing is that it has an animated keyframe on the fact that it's rendering. I don't know if I'm over explaining this, but this was like confusing for me, okay? And now I'm gonna turn off the rendering for the flamingo. So right now that flamingo is not gonna be visible and that's gonna be a keyframe, so that is animated. And in Blender, like so many things can be animated. Like you can insert keyframes for all sorts of stuff. And this is one of them. And I'm gonna choose the point where the objects flip super quickly. And that is the point where I'm gonna flip the rendering from the flamingo being invisible to the flamingo being visible. So that happens right around here. So I'm gonna say, like at this point, that should be fine, just when they're both facing away from the camera. So I'll do it at frame 90 to keep it simple for myself. So I'm gonna insert a keyframe here by turning that off and then inserting the keyframe and turning this on and inserting the keyframe. So that's flipping back and forth right now. And that's looking pretty good, but this animation is gonna cut off right there. But I want this flamingo to keep turning slowly towards the camera, so I'm gonna add some more frames. So this animation just cuts off at frame 100, but we wanna see that flamingo come into focus now. So I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did for the mattress. So here with the mattress at 80 frames, that's when it started speeding up. So I'm gonna extend the animation to 180 frames, and I'm just gonna let that flamingo turn. And it's gonna be turning 90 more degrees than it is right now because the mattress spun 90 degrees before it started speeding up. So hopefully that makes sense. But I am just gonna take this flamingo and I'm gonna add 90 to 360. So that is gonna be 450 degrees that it is gonna be at frame 180. And I'm gonna insert a keyframe there again. And then that is showing the flamingo. So now what's happening in the scene is the mattress is being shown. It's spinning around really quick. Now the flamingo is being shown. And the flamingo is the only thing that's rendered for the end. But I want to make this a bit smoother here so you see the flamingo fully stops and then starts again. So to do that, I'm just going to go back to the graph editor. And this is the point where that happens. So it slows down, stops, and then starts again. So I'm just going to take these anchor points and smooth that out a bit. And see how that flamingo looks. Alright, so that's a pretty smooth spin on the flamingo. If you want this whole thing to be looping, you would basically just copy those same keyframe rotations. So making the flamingo spin around, speed up, and then hide the flamingo and unhide the air mattress. Now the secret to making this effect really work is the motion blur. That is super important. What we're going to do is go here into the rendering tab, scroll down, and we're going to click on motion blur. Now it's at 0.5, which is pretty low, but a pretty high motion blur would be 2 or 2.5, which is what I'm gonna do. And now the faster the object is spinning, the more that it's blurred, which makes this a really good optical illusion. Otherwise, if it has no motion blur, then you can really see the exact point where that change happens. I recommend doing a bunch of really low resolution tests before you render out the final one. So I did an animation recently with 4 or 5 objects, and I did a lot of renders that were 300 pixels by 300 pixels just to see what works and see how it goes. But I've done this quite a few times, so I know how that's gonna look, and I'm just gonna render this out and compile the final animation right now. And here is what that looks like. Alright, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this, please subscribe. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see, and I'm gonna go now.